Even Mother Nature can't stop the TVC tournament action. Hey, we found a way to brave the weather and pull off some pretty heroic performances. We have all of them coming up right now on Harwood Heroes. Grab some bench, Harwood Nation, and listen up. I'm your host, Blaine Caraher. With the girls' tournament games being pushed back this week, it only added to the drama going into these pivotal matchups, and it all went down on Thursday. It was a bit too close for comfort for the Athens gals, Dominique Dosick and co. It was a little bit, you're used to a little bit more leeway, but they squeaked by Zane Trace, and they moved right along to Sheridan this weekend. Now, adieu to the Lady Vikes. Benton County couldn't pull off the upset against the talented Warren girls, and they went down 52-40. They finished 2K15 with a 500 record and a great performance out of Michaela Puckett. And Belpre balled hard on Thursday and blew past the Federal Hawking squad, while Alexander had some time to mentally prepare, and they faced Belpre this weekend. Head to WOUB.org for more info on that game. And what's the postseason without a pleasant surprise? The Megs Marauders came away with a W in overtime over Wellston. Could this be our Cinderella team? But hey, no surprises for Eastern on Thursday. Those girls put Green away handily, 62-11. Yes, you heard that correctly. The Lady Eagles are certainly shooting for the shot. Trimble got her done during their week matchup. This weekend they had a tough time, so visit WOUB.org for the weekend recap. All right, enough with the girl talk. I'll just say pass over to my boys, your online hosts, Nathan Wiseman and Justin Holbrook. So, Justin, Nathan, how's this guys' tournament shaping up?
Well, I'm super excited for this tournament, Blaine. I'm just ready for the regular season to finally finish up because we got some pretty exciting matchups in this tournament this year. Not too many surprises in the seedings. So, Justin, what do you see going down in Division 2?
If I'm being honest, I see Marietta going down because the Tigers have to take on the Athens Bulldogs. Athens is coming off its third straight TVC Ohio Championship, entering this sectional semifinal, which will take place at Logan High School.
Yeah, Joe Burrow, the Lermans, and Lutz. That's all I got to say. I've got to agree. Bulldogs take this one. And out in Pomeroy, Isaiah English is playing the best basketball of the season, and some younger guys are also emerging as some clutch players. So the Marauders matchup with New Lex is one to keep a close eye on. And Vinton County will face Logan Elm, the defending district champs, on the 25th. And if that's not a tough enough challenge, they will likely play Warren if they win that one.
Man, it's not going to be an easy road for either of these two teams, but the Alexander Spartans have a much easier opening round game as they take on Crooksville, who only has one win this season. Meanwhile, Fedhawk, led by Jonathan Snyder, will take on Waverly in what should be a very winnable game for the Lancers.
Yeah, that's right. Nelsonville, York, and River Valley, you've heard that one again, will meet up for the third time this year on the 23rd. Now, NY lost by 20 points in their first matchup, but won by 6 the last time around. You just never know what's going to happen in this one.
And speaking of teams that are familiar with one another, the Eastern Eagles will take on Southern, who Eastern actually lost to by 27 points on Friday night. While the Eagles have had a hard time winning, their TVC Hawking counterpart Trimble is immune to losing. Next Thursday, the Tomcats will take off what should be a long tournament run for their undefeated team.
All right, well, guys, this bracketology has my head spinning. Thanks a lot, you two. See you later on in the show. Who let the dogs out? That seems to be the question for all of the Athens opponents this season. And Matthew Doyle, he's on deck to walk me through this. So the guys, once again, control the TVC this season.
And that's good news for the Bulldogs as tournament time is just around the corner. And there are plenty of tough teams in the district, but I want to look at two teams that Athens could face later on in the district tournament if they get past Marietta in the first round, who they beat by 19 in last year's tournament. A team that Athens could see in the district semis, Unioto. The Sherman Taints have a very similar build to Athens. They're a senior-heavy team that lost in the sectional finals last year to Minford, but they come back strong this season as they're ranked number 4 in the recent AP poll. And their height will be a huge factor as they have enough big men to match up with the Bulldogs' size. It'll be tough for Athens to get past the Sherman Taints, but if they do, Blaine, there's one team that could be waiting for the Bulldogs in the district finals.
Well, Matthew, it's just not right if Athens doesn't face Warren in the tournament.
And Warren has been the Bulldogs' kryptonite in the past 2 tournaments. The Warriors already got the best of Athens this year, winning their home game by 30. And it goes without saying the Bulldogs will have to have their entire team step up in the district semis and finals if they hope to make a regional tourney run.
All right, so Matthew, girls, they got off to a good start in the tournament with Dominique Dosick leading the way.
It feels like we're always talking about how the Bulldogs would go as far as Dominique will take them, but in their first game against Zane Trace, I think Athens proved that they don't always need Dosick to be a big scorer in the fourth quarter to win close games. And my reason behind that thought process is pretty simple. She didn't score at all in the fourth quarter. Now, granted, the senior guard did get her scoring in for the night in the first 3 quarters with 18 points.
But now there's one thing that is great about Dosick. She provides a lot more to her team than just points.
Exactly, and with 6.5 minutes left in the game, Zane Trace narrowed the Bulldogs' lead to 5 as the 1-2-2 zone that the Pioneers are running was giving Athens problems all night. But the Bulldogs pushed the ball in transition, and Dosick connected on 3 straight assists to Jelana Stone and Alexis McCollum. And speaking of Stone, she had a great night off the bench with 13 points, including half of the team's points in the fourth quarter. Blaine, obviously Dosick needs to play well for Athens to win, but if they want to go far in this tourney, there's little doubt that it needs to be a team effort.
You know, Coach Horsley's girls, they're always coming together. Matthew, thanks a lot. Now it's time for the Albany squad, the Alexander Spartans. Look at this strapping young couple over here, Danny Dean and Sean Neidig. Hey, it's looking like Alexander's all aboard the tournament train.
Yeah, the Spartans are going full steam ahead, but we did have some delays getting out of the station.
Yeah, talk about delays, Sean. The Spartan boys haven't played since February 13th, and they won't play again until Tuesday night when they take on Crooksville.
Yeah, that's an 11-day layoff, but the boys have already gotten familiar with the ceramics from when they played earlier this season. Ironically enough, this game is exactly 1 month after their first meeting in January, and the Spartans dominated that game 60-24.
Yeah, the Spartans got huge games from Mason Chapman and Seth Richardson with 18 points each, and Chase Harris put in work with 13 points on the night.
Yeah, great games from those guys, and I'm sure that they'll want the same type of production this time around. But because of the school closings this week, the team wasn't able to practice as much as they normally do, and were only able to hit the gym on Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Jim Kearns earlier this week, and he said they're not worried. They've been really focusing on their offense and their conditioning, and those are 2 things that they struggled with near the end of the season. Now the Spartans are heading into this matchup after losing their last 2 games, but Kearns said they have some good tape from their last game with Crooksville, and that's been giving the guys a lot of confidence.
Yeah, Kearns said that playing a team twice is actually easier than playing a league team, so he and the players are looking forward to getting back out there to try to make that run deep into the tournament.
So a lot of confidence clearly coming from the guys, and the Lady Spartans are feeling the same way. Battle-tested is how head coach Corey McKnight described his team. He said they've won a lot of tough games this season, and that's where their confidence comes from.
The team has been led by guard Leah Richardson all year, but to make a run to the district title, they'll need some other players to step up. McKnight said that Allie Malone, Jayla Mace, and McKenna Milam have all given the Lady Spartans a spark in their last few games, and their play has really been crucial for the team's success.
Yeah, now throughout this season, the Lady Spartans have played every game in their own style. When they hit the court, they're not really worried about who their opponent is. They just go and play their game. Now their half-court offense could use a little work at times, but McKnight wants them to hold on to that up-tempo play that they're used to.
I've seen that up-tempo play a few times this year, and I don't think it's going to be a problem for those girls. Hey, thanks a lot, you guys. So now let me read you a little poem I wrote from the bottom of my hosting heart. WOUB.org. That is where you go when you have to see TVC scores and stories about Dominique hitting threes. It's the bee's knees. Don't kill trees and hop on the web. Take this advice from me. It's not just for the sports fanatics. We got news and programming info for all of you TV addicts. WOUB.org. Visit our site and set a date for the best web content around the entire state. Now, okay, I'll stop playing Dr. Seuss, guys, but take the time to visit us on the web at WOUB.org and make sure to make us your home screen. The Eastern Eagles aren't seated well in the tourney and definitely have some work to do. So here are some ladies that know their Eagles, Megan Stamper and Rachel Walbrown. So girls, do you think that these guys can ride out the postseason?
The boys will definitely be the underdogs when they face their heated rivals for the 3rd time this season. Eastern set to play the Southern Tornadoes in the opening round of the tournament. While Southern sits at the 6th seed, the Eagles earned the 11th seed after a tough season.
Yeah, Rachel, the familiarity these 2 teams have with each other can be a blessing or a curse. Eastern lost to them by only 9 at home last month, but fell by 27 when they lost Friday night 73-46 on the road.
If the boys have any hopes of making it past the first round of tournament play, they're gonna have to spread the love.
And the Eagles' only 2 wins this season, it was a total team effort. Instead of relying on leading scorer Christian Spielman, the rest of the team picked up the slack.
Megan, it felt like the game was being held inside the Oprah studio instead of the nest. You get a basket, everyone gets a basket.
Rachel, as the bottom seed in their bracket, they face an uphill battle. If they can bring back some of that team chemistry from their 2 wins, they have a chance against Southern this week.
All right, so now transitioning to the girls, I know that one player's rocking a new do.
Blaine, I've noticed Laura Poland's styling hair a bit differently the past few games, so I took to Twitter and found out she was superstitious. Last year, Poland's rocked the straight pony in place of the braids during the state championship run.
You know, the ponytail definitely worked on Thursday night when the Lady Eagles caged the Green Lady Bobcats. They won 62-11. Freshman Madison Williams had another huge impact on the hardwood for Eastern.
The game was dominated by the Lady Eagles underclassmen, just like the rest of the season has been. Williams put up 18 points, but let her teammates in on the action as well. She dished out 5 assists, and that was all done in just 3.5 quarters. As usual, though, Poland's another young player for Eastern made her presence felt.
Poland's had 10 points along with 2 assists and 3 steals. Just like Williams, Poland's only needed 3.5 quarters to dominate on the court. Along with the rest of their teammates, Williams and Poland's didn't allow Green to put up double digits until late in the 4th quarter.
If they want to make another deep tournament play run, they'll have to bring that aggressive defense in the rest of their games.
All right, now we hear it all the time, but defense certainly wins championships. Hey, thanks a lot, you two. The last time the Cats lost, it was just a memory all alone in the moonlight. The Trimble Tomcats consistently show out, so now Anthony Alaco is going to do the same here on Deso. Anthony, to say the Tomcats are an impressive team is just an understatement.
Well, showing out is the perfect way to describe these Tomcats because every time they hit the floor, they put on a spectacle. Entering tournament play on a first-round bye, Trimble isn't focusing on a specific opponent. They got a 1 seed for a good reason. The Tomcats have been dominant all year in more than one aspect. The stage is set, and the new Hardwood hashtag, Shoot for the Shot, could see a lot of use out in Gloucester. On February 15th, when the brackets were drawn, the second best record in their district was Sciotaville at 13-5. I don't know about you, Blaine, but I expect to see the Tomcats in the district championship March 14th at Ohio University.
All right, so Anthony, we can all agree that a district title is a definite possibility for Trimble, but what's it going to take to make all that happen?
Well, the good news for Trimble fans is Trimble already has what it's going to take. They have the length to take advantage of most teams down low, but if they run into a team that matches up against them in the post, they have the guards to spread it out. Justice Jenkins and Austin Downs have been in the spotlight all season, while Cody Jones and Randy Hickson fly under the radar. All 4 of these guards have the 3-point stroke that Trimble can ride to the convo March 14th.
All right, so Anthony, to me it sounds like the boys can expect success as per usual, but what's going on with the girls in Trimble?
Well, the girls haven't been nearly as successful as the boys, but Trimble isn't feeling down on this season. The team won just 2 games all last year, but to start off this season, they won just one of their first 9. Head coach Tom Hardy turned it around and got the team to win 5 of the next 8. Coach Hardy said this season was all about progressing the program.
I'm probably never going to be satisfied with where it's at. I'm just that type of person, I guess. We've seen some great strides in what we're doing, and they're understanding what I want on the court, and that's helped a bunch. But we still have a long way to go.
With the addition of a JV squad this year and returning guards in Sydney Hardy, Caitlin Spears, and Morgan Murphy, this team is built for future success.
Now, Anthony, it sounds like to me the Trimble girls, they're really returning a pretty stacked backcourt, but what's going on for the post this season?
Well, Trimble is going to lose Maddie Moore, but they're returning arguably their best player in Nikki Kish. Kish is a former Hero of the Week and started out the season as a dominant down-low player, usually staying within 10 feet of the rim. As the season progressed, she was able to develop as a high post player and work on a mid-range jumper. Returning a lot of firepower next season, expect Trimble to be dangerous in the Hawking.
All right, definitely, Anthony. Always good to hear a team that has some depth in the future. Hey, Anthony, thanks a lot. And speaking of the Gloucester Goon Squad, these Tomcats take this week's honor for Snapchat. After recording their 20th win, these guys didn't go to Disneyland, they went to Wendy's. Hey, you guys deserve a few Frosties and Baconators, but next time, hit me up. I'm always down for a late night Wendy's run. Keep on telling your friends about our Harwood Heroes Snapchat account, and each week, we love connecting with all of you and seeing what you're up to on and off the court. And as always, keep that Snap game strong. Everyone knows that Kelsey Hudson and the rest of the gang from the Megs Marauders can definitely ball. So Coach Michael Drapcho, he's here today. He's going to be analyzing some film out of Pomeroy. So now, Michael, in their first tournament game against Wellston, the Lady Rockets, they really focused on keeping Hudson out of the highlight reel.
Well, Blaine, it's pretty well known that Kelsey Hudson, or how good Kelsey Hudson is. In fact, it's probably the TVC's worst kept secret that she is Meg's biggest offensive threat and their leader. So in an attempt to slow down Hudson, Wellston went to a pretty unconventional defense in the box and won. Now, Meggs is going to inbound the ball to Kelsey Hudson, and it looks like Welston is set up in just your basic 1-2-2 zone. But when she goes to hand the ball off to Madison Hendricks, this is where Welston switches it up. What do you think Welston is going to do here?
Well, I mean, Michael, it looks like she's just going to stick with Hendricks because she's in her zone.
Typically, J.C. Jeffries would just stay with Hendricks, but since Welston is keying in on Hudson, she's going to face guard her for the entire possession. Wherever Hudson goes, that's where J.C. goes. Even when Kelsey Hudson dives to the middle of the paint to try to get open, J.C.'s is there and she denies her. And since Meggs can't get it to Hudson right here, they have to settle for a deep three. And Blaine, Meggs was 0 for 14 from deep on Wednesday.
Wow, so 0 for 14. So if the Ladies Marauders, they struggled from behind the three-point line. So how are they able to come out on top?
Well, Kelsey Hudson actually fouled out in the game on Wednesday, so Meggs had to rely on some good ball movement, and they also needed some members of their supporting cast to step up. And at this point, Kelsey Hudson had already fouled out, so Madison Hendricks was bringing the ball up the floor.
And now it looks like Welston, they're still playing that box and one.
Oh, they absolutely are. You see, but this time they're focusing on Madison Hendricks. And look, when Meggs swings the ball to the corner, look at how many defenders are just focusing on ball side.
Wow, they're just all looking at the ball right now.
Exactly. All 4 players in the box are focusing on the 2 players on ball side, and J.C. Jeffries is still face guarding Madison Hendricks. So that leaves a player wide open on the weak side, and that player is Courtney Jones. Devin Humphreys notices this. She throws a skip pass over the defense to Jones, and once Jones gets the ball, she knows exactly what to do with it, and she drains the mid-range J.
Wow, great play there. Hey, Michael, thanks a lot for all of your hard work. So it's always nice to be a #1 seed. So Nelsonville York reporter Griffin Radcliffe, he's in the house. He's over here on the desk as I'm making my way over. So now, Griffin, the ladies, they have a road to go on to win districts. Do you think that they have an advantage going into this game?
Well, Blaine, I wouldn't call it an advantage. The Lady Buckeyes, it would be nice. As a #1 seed, every team wants to pull off that upset. The Lady Buckeyes do have a weapon, though, that has been a good part of their success this season. Now, Blaine, who do we usually talk about from the girls squad?
I mean, that's easy. It's always Madison Davis and Jessie Addis.
Right, you are. But we have not given Caitlin Hurd as much love as Jessie Addis and Madison Davis. In the massive 16-game winning streak the Lady Buckeyes had this season, Hurd put up 11.1 points a game. She was the one that stepped up when Addis or Davis weren't up to par. She shined exceptionally well in the non-TBC games, averaging 15 points, but in TBC action, she only recorded 8.7 points. If NY gets by Meggs, they will face nothing but non-TBC teams, and if Hurd can play the way she did in the winning streak, the Nelsonville York Lady Buckeyes will go to the Schottenstein Center.
All right, so is there anyone else on the NY Lady squad who could be a factor?
Well, Blaine, I can name off every single player and tell you why they are important, but if I were to narrow it down to 3, it would be junior Hannah Taylor and sophomore Samantha Taylor and Cameron Dupler. Their contribution on the court is something that goes way beyond the stat sheet.
All right, so now over to the boys squad. They finished their TVC play on Friday against Athens. Now, Griffin, did this loss help them going into the tournament?
Well, like we said all season long, this has been a hard year for the Buckeyes. They hit rock bottom midseason, so it has been an uphill journey from there. The Nelsonville York Buckeyes will lead off the tournament against River Valley, a team who they split during the season, but if they beat River Valley, they have to go up against a 19-1 Chesapeake team. Much like the girls, if you look at their record though, they are above 500 against non-TBC teams. The Buckeyes have had a lot of people step up for them this season. As we told you last week, Colt Adams is the leader on this team, but if there are other players who have made their name heard as well this season. Joel Thompson, Tristan Lett, and Braden Witham have all had key roles in their senior season, and sophomores Aaron Davis and Hunter Edwards have all made a team-leading impact since the team struggled mid-season. And if these boys can bring the impact that they've had all season long this past couple weeks, they can make my prediction right of being the Cinderella team this postseason, Blaine.
All right, some Cinderella kids over there. I like it a lot, Griffin. Thanks again. Remember when you used to poke your friends on Facebook? Well, you can't poke us anymore, but you sure can like us. Head to our Facebook page and we'll keep your feed filled with stories from all around the TVC. Especially right now in the season, you're going to need to stay connected and watch for all of our hero lists coming out during the next week. And the best part about this form of social media, you can share all of our stories with all of your friends. Have an aunt in Wyoming that loves Fedhawk or a grandpa in New York that needs his Marauder fix? Tell them to give us a like as well. Hey, any friend of yours is a friend of mine. So with this season in the books for the Vinton County Lady Vikings, but hey, Carter Eckel and Jordan Gallagher are still hanging around. So guys, the girls, they just couldn't capitalize this week.
Oh, well, Blaine, unfortunately for the Lady Vikings, their season came to an end Thursday night in Logan. The girls got off to a slow start and couldn't bounce back as they trailed the whole way. Victoria Buzzard was the Lady Vikings' kryptonite as she dropped 24 points, 11 of which came from the free throw line. Jordan, the Vikings really let the free throw battle hurt them, didn't they?
For the girls tonight, it almost appeared as if they were lost in a cornfield when they stepped up to the line, as they shot just 12 of 22 from the stripe. And in a game that was decided by only 12 points, those free throws could have been crucial in keeping the game close down the stretch. This has been a problem for the Lady Vikings all season, and in the end, it came back to bite them. However, the team does have every starter returning next season, which could be scary for the rest of TVC Ohio.
Well, you're absolutely right, Jordan. And not only that, the Lady Vikings will have an entire offseason to continue to adjust to Coach Bentley's play style. Coach Bentley experimented with moving players around, and now they have plenty of time to solidify those positions. While the Lady Vikings season may be over, the boys are coming down the final stretch of their season.
This past week has been a jumble for the Benton County boys squad, with the disappointing loss to Megs, game cancellations, and tournament brackets being released. This week's game against Logan was canceled, and as of now, no makeup date has been set, leaving Benton County with only one game this past week. However, with the tournament bracket being released, the team may be looking past their last regular season games and towards their game against Logan Elm next Wednesday.
Well, that's absolutely right, Jordan. And the two teams share a few common opponents who they have both played rather equally this season. Their only common win came against Miami Trace, while both teams lost to Bloom Carroll, Zane Trace, and Athens. But the key for the Vikings all season has been when they are able to produce on the offensive end of the floor.
Carter, for the Vikings, 60 points is the magic number. When the boys have reached that mark this season, they are 10-1. Yes, you heard that right, 10-1. Their only loss when scoring 60 came last week against Megs in a game that ended in buzzer beater fashion. To get to 60, though, they will need key games from their top scorers, Jordan Albright and Max Ward. Blaine, with these teams being so evenly matched, anything can happen.
Hey, tournament time, definitely anything can happen. Hey, Jordan, Carter, thanks a lot for all your great work. Another team has thrown in the towel this season. The Federal Hawking Lady Lancers went down in the tourney. Now Patrick Klinger, he's here to walk me through it.
Yeah, Blaine, the Lady Lancers finished the regular season at 6-16, which is exactly how they ended last year, and they went into Wednesday's sectional semifinal as the number 10 seed, and Federal Hawking were definitely no strangers to their opponent as they squared off with Belpre, a team they had already met up with twice this season. And Belpre, they came away with the victory in both of those games, but they were extremely competitive and always came down to that final quarter.
I mean, Patrick, it's always difficult to beat a team 3 times in a year.
And that's right. And the Lady Lancers, they had the lead 11-9 at the end of the first quarter and were playing some great on-ball defense. It looked like they could possibly be a Cinderella team, but once that second quarter rolled around, it was clear that the slipper did not fit. The Lady Lancers started to turn the ball over, as is the story of their entire season, and Belpre really began to dominate, where they ended up going home with a 55-35 win.
All right, so bitter in for the seniors, but hey, they're looking pretty good for next year.
Yeah, Coach Tolson is now through his first season, and he has a lot of talent coming back for 2016, including big-time scoring threats like Destiny Tabler and Skylar Hatfield, and also some youngsters that gained a lot of experience this year, like Kaylee McPherson and Gracie Beha. So I'm very excited to see how this team is able to develop through the offseason.
Hey, Patrick, Gracie Beha, love that name coming out of there. But so now the guys, Friday night, it was all about giving credit to the big boys.
Yeah, and all the Federal Hawking fans in Stewart were in the gym Friday night to celebrate those seniors, and some of those guys like Jonathan Snyder, Ivan Santiago, and Taylor Gates have been huge for this team all year long, and we're looking to end the season on a high note. And this trio was on a mission as they accounted for 61 of the Lancers' team high 72 points. Jonathan Snyder mustered up his inner Taylor Swift because that young man did not have a blank space in his stat sheet. He finished with 26 points, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks, and even a couple of assists. Gates added 18 points, torching the Falcons from behind the arc, where he shot 5 of 9 from distance, and Santiago found his way into the paint whenever he so pleased, putting up 17 points of his own. The Lancers definitely pleased the fans in this one with the 72-59 win.
All right, wow, so with senior night behind them, Fed Hawk, they're really setting their sights on the postseason now.
Yeah, that's right, and looking into next week, they're going to be the 10 seed, or the 7 seed, and will take on Waverly, a sub-500 team at Jackson High School on Tuesday. It's a game that they should definitely win. And this is going to be a very dangerous team as a 7 seed now that tourney time is finally here.
Hey, Patrick, lucky number 7. I like it a lot. Hey, wish them the best. Thanks again, Patrick. And some TVC players are singing, "I could be your hero, baby." We could release our all-hero team right now, but hey, what's life without a little bit of suspense? The all-hero watch list is out. However, head to WEB.org for the full list of talent coming from all over the region. My online hosts Nathan Wiseman and Justin Holbrook have all the scoop, so those guys, they're always fun to watch, so make sure to give it a view. Let us know what you think on Twitter at Harwood Heroes. We will take your feedback to heart as we're finalizing our all-star crew for 2015. So it's about that time to lay down the 411 and see what all of you at home are up to. Justin Holbrook and Nathan Wiseman, they're back again. So guys, how's HH Nation doing?
Well, if I had to guess, they're probably chilling at home with that tweet deck pulled up, keeping an eye on our new hashtag, Shoot for the Shot. And if they're on Twitter, they probably saw this tweet from Nelsonville, York's Madison Davis. Davis tweeted, "Good luck to all of the teams in the TVC in this tournament. Show everyone why we are the toughest league around. No matter what team you root for, you have to love this tweet." There's nothing quite like being a part of TVC Nation, and you know Davis understands that. And as someone that covers this league, you know I had to give her tweet a favorite.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't think the girls of the TVC are much into smack talk at all. Well, maybe on the court, but not on Twitter. Earlier this week, I asked my Twitter followers if anyone had any suggestions for our Girls Hero of the Week award by using the hashtag Harwood HOW, and I got quite a few responses. Fans were tweeting in endorsements for Madison Williams and Dominique Dosek, but it was Madison Williams who threw in her support for her own competition. Madison tweeted me and said, "Dominique is a great player and always goes 100%. Well, that's true, but the same goes for Madison, who led Eastern to a 62-11 win over Green on Thursday. You know, guys, we always appreciate your Hero of the Week suggestions on Twitter, and as always, we had a couple players stand out from the crowd this week.
Well, Nathan, you mentioned a few names around the league, including Madison Williams, so we're previewing that all-hero future watch team, so keep an eye on that. But who's getting the Wiseman stamp of approval for the Girls Hero of the Week?
Well, you know, Justin, I mentioned earlier Madison Williams. She had a great game against Green, but that came in a blowout against a winless Green High School team, might I mention. So meanwhile, Dominique Dosek, she stepped up in a close game against Dane Trace. So congratulations to Dominique for earning our final Girls Hero of the Week of the season. You know, tournament time is the time where the best players put on for their team and heroic performances are born. And for the past 4 years, when you think of Southeastern Ohio basketball, 2 words probably cross your mind, and that's Dominique Dosek. That's right, and that's because of memorable nights like Thursday. She simply commands the attention of opposing defenses no matter if she has the ball or if she doesn't have the ball. In Athens' 42-34 close win over Zane Trace, she scored a game-high 18 points, and when she's double-teamed, no problem. She still has a unique ability to still make an impact. For example, Athens was on a slight upset alert with 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game the other night, and the Bulldogs were holding on to a close 32-27 lead. But don't panic, just enter Dominique Dosek. Even though her shots weren't falling in the fourth quarter, she assisted on 3 straight buckets to give Athens the momentum back, and Justin, they ultimately got the victory.
Well, Athens didn't even get a chance to practice this week because of the cold and all the snow, but that didn't even stop her. I'm going to miss talking about Dominique's dominance. She's easily a household name in the TVC, but I have someone that you may not know that much about. His name is Taylor Gates. He plays for the Federal Hockey Lancers, and he is my last Hero of the Week. If you remember all the way back to our first show, I picked Gates' teammate, Jonathan Snyder, for my very first Hero of the Week, and I'm ending it with another player from Stewart. Gates is the best perimeter player that the Lancers have, and he showed that on Friday night as 15 of his 18 points came from three-point land, and he shot 5 of 9 from behind the arc. Ivan Santiago and Snyder are definitely Fedhawks' top scorers, but Gates is the type of player that does all the little things that matter just to help his team win, which sounds like a hero to me. And when this kid takes the court, you better be ready to run and hustle because there is no matching the level of intensity and energy that he brings to the table. Dropping 18 points and getting the win is a pretty great way to spend your senior night, and I'm sure he'd love to get another victory Tuesday against Waverly and Fedhawks' first tournament game. I look forward to seeing that one along with all the tournament games that we have.
Well, guys, hey, thanks a lot, and hey, shout out again to Taylor Gates, Dominique Dosek. Hey, you could keep an eye out for them on our all-hero team, but hey, guys, I'll see you again next week. So that's all we have this week, Hardwood Nation. And as the season dwindles, so does our time here on air. But hey, don't go crying quite yet. Next week will mark our final show. So I urge all of you to come hang out with us again here in Studio A. We will reveal our all-hero team. So hit us up on Twitter at Harwood Heroes for suggestions for the final list. Hey, we're always game for some recommendations here at Harwood Heroes. So run to WOUB.org for midweek coverage. You can always visit Justin Holbrook and Nathan Wiseman, our awesome online hosts. But hey, until then, everyone, I'm Blaine Caraher reminding you, the best 6th man in the TVC, to be heroic.